Here's my verdict on the 16 seeds for the World Snooker Championship. 16, Jak Jones. A beaten finalist last year, having reached the quarter-finals a year before. The rest of his form is little to write home about, but he clearly comes alive at the Crucible. 15, Shaun Murphy. Former winner of this famous old event, but that seems like a lifetime ago. Back to form with a good win at the Masters in January, but his more recent form is a concern. He turned in 2 dismal efforts at the recent Players Series, and more than likely the most we'll see of Shaun is in the BBC studio. 14, Xiao Guodong. Terrific match player who's always promised to do well at the Crucible. Won the Wuhan Open earlier in the season, but it would take a career best for him to win this. 13, Jiahui. Terrific talent who finished as beaten semi-finalist in 2023. He lost to eventual champion Luca Brecel that year and finished runner-up at the Wuhan Open earlier in the season. One of the outsiders to watch. 12, Zhang Anda. Brilliant season last year, but a struggle for consistency this time around. Has always promised to do well at the Crucible, but not from 4 here so far, and it would take a big leap of faith to see him winning it this year. 11, Barry Hawkins. Terrific Crucible operator with a great record here. Beaten finalist in 2013 when losing to Ronnie O'Sullivan, and has kept his form this season. Runner-up at the UK Championship, played really well at the recent Tour Championship too. A live contender. 10, Junhui. Former finalist here who was back to winning ways earlier in the season. Remains a high-class operator, but maybe not quite the force of old. His chance at the Crucible might just have gone. 9, Neil Robertson. Former winner in 2010 and an outstanding break builder when on song. Back to form this season with 2 titles in the bag already this season. And he remains a danger to all if getting on a roll at the Crucible, where he hasn't always been the most consistent. Some really good signs in the recent Players Series, and I fancy him to make the final. 8, Mark Allen. Quite a season this time around, but that's not always a bad thing at the Crucible, and he still won out in Saudi Arabia just before Christmas. Recent signs less encouraging, but we know he has the game to do well at the Crucible. Fine match player, battle hardened, and will always give it his all. 7, Luca Brecel. Outstanding winner in 2023 when surprising everyone. Fantastic putter and a wonderful talent, but out of form since and very hard to predict. It's hard to see him winning it again. 6, Mark Williams. 3 times former champion of the world and champion of champions hero already this season. His recent form is less encouraging and he's been making some less than positive noises about his eyesight in recent weeks. He looks up against it. 5, Ronnie O'Sullivan. The greatest player to ever pick up a cue, 7 times champion of the world, but still chasing that elusive number 8 that would take him past Stephen Hendry. We've not seen a lot of Ronnie this season, but when we have, there have been flashes of his own brilliance. He played really well at the UK Championship when beaten by Barry Hawkins in a close match there, but then he skipped the Masters and he's hardly picked up a cue since. His participation remains in doubt, but that was the case in 2013 when he famously turned up on the back of no preparation and waltzed his way to the world title that year. Could he do it again? You wouldn't bet against him. Missed it. 4, Mark Selby. 4 times champion of the world and always such a tough nut to crack in this famous old venue. Selby loves the Crucible and reached the final again in 2023 when just beaten by Luca Brecel. 3 titles in the bag again this season, and he was just outlasted by John Higgins at the recent Tour Championship. He played really well that week, and if he gets to Sheffield in a similar type of form, he could take some stopping. 3, John Higgins. A Renaissance man who's won 2 titles this season, including the recent Tour Championship, with just outlasting Mark Selby in a memorable final. A real triumph in determination and grit from John Higgins, who's bounced back from some crushing defeats in the last couple of years. He's won this famous title 4 times already, then he made 3 more finals more recently. He's going to be a big threat to all if he can maintain that recent form. Remember, recent Tour Championship winners have a dreadful record at the Crucible. 2, Judd Trump. The world number one, 3 more titles in the bag already this season, and he was a quite outstanding winner of this tournament in 2019 when producing one of the best ever performances in a final. So consistent, and will surely go close again if he can get through those early rounds. And finally, number 1 seed, Kyren Wilson. A brilliant world champion who has embraced everything that comes with it this season. He's won 4 major titles already, including beating Judd Trump in 3 finals. A magnificent all-round match player who's probably better now than he was 12 months ago. He's got the famous old Crucible curse to overcome, but if anyone's going to do it, it might well be Kyren Wilson. Having assessed all of the top 16, my final verdict is for Neil Robertson to beat Judd Trump in the final.